almost 8 o'clock. It's 7:48. Oh, I just can't do what I do and do this and once a week. I do apologize, but I want to do this. So right now I'm just looking at it. If there's nobody there because I'm not on the right time, I'm supposed to be. Oh, that's right. It says 7:30, right? I'm 15 minutes late. That's not too bad. I was thinking 7 o'clock. Oh my gosh. So I'm supposed to be on 7:30 every Wednesday night, right? Wednesdays are my hardest days at work, driving that bus for 9 straight hours. It's the hardest route. Nobody wants that route. I didn't ask for that route, but I got that bus route and it wears me out. I do it 3 days a week. Wednesday is my last day, and that's just driving long, hard 9 hours. There are no breaks. When you go to the restroom, it's because you have to go and you're still behind. So when I get home, I'm cooked from those 3 days on that bus route. I apologize, and one day this will be my job right here, and I'll have more time to be able to organize because, I gotta come home, I gotta eat, I gotta take a shower, I gotta look ready, right? Look like I didn't just drive 9 hard hours nonstop, and organize everything that I want to make sure to get across in the video. Today is a very important video. Of course, I forgot to bring the vitamin I'm trying to show you. It's about a vitamin. So I try my best not to have to get up off of this chair because then you got to see my pants and everything else, and you got to see me go and come back, and I'm trying to avoid all that, right? But I forgot my vitamins. I'm gonna get my vitamins, and we're gonna be talking today about vitamin D, like David, right? This vitamin is so important that I'm sounding the alarm about it. I'm not gonna talk soft and sweet and nonchalant like most people do. I'm sounding the alarm for the people because we, the people, need to be able to prepare ourselves, strengthen ourselves, and be functional in the environment of this reality that we're in, right? We need to be able to be strong. And we can't if we're missing very key important parts like vitamin D is a hormone, not just a vitamin. It's a hormone. And hormones, this is a steroid hormone, meaning a major player hormone that if we don't have it, we don't function. And I don't know if anybody's noticed, but we ain't functioning, right? As a species, as a society, as a people, we're breaking down. And so I'm gonna show how and what I'm doing to build myself up with this vitamin D that I've been using and the differences I've been seeing with my visual eyes. We like to see differences, but in the long run, this is for life. We need vitamin D for life, and we're supposed to be getting it from the sun, and we're not because we have a bunch of things blocking us from that. You guys know on my channel, I talk about what's breaking us down, and it's this Canaanite mentality. It's a mind against mankind. And so at the end, after I speak about what this vitamin D hormone, what happens if we don't have it? What breakdowns do we see? What are the symptoms that we see and that we could relate to in our lives? I took the time to write all the different types, but I'm telling you, there's over 1,000 different types. I just put the major ones that I think people are noticing in their life, and so they can start looking in this direction, in this vitamin D, and making sure we're supplementing so that we can fix those problems we have in our lives, because we're suffering needlessly. We shouldn't be suffering the way that we are when the fix is so simple, right? The fix is so simple. So you're gonna have to give me a second. I gotta go get these vitamins. I can't believe I did that. Actually, I can't believe it. Let me just say, Mr. What do we got? I'm gonna have to bring it close. Micah 44FR. Hello, I'm French in Paris. Oh, that's awesome. That's very sweet. I like knowing that people from far away are watching me out here in Phoenix, Arizona. That's awesome. Thank you for letting me know where you're from. Hey, Rachel, Miss Scott. Hey, girl, I'm so glad I made it. I'm glad you made it too. Bet that we're always talking. All right, on Messenger, right? Give me a second, everybody. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get that vitamin. Okay, sorry about that. That was a big inconvenience. That wasn't very nice. I do apologize. Uh, Here we go. I wasn't sure where I had my bag, but I carry all my vitamins that I use during the day with me in my backpack, and I had to take everything out of my backpack so I could find it for you, right? This is the brand that I'm using. It's a vitamin D3 with a K2 and a magnesium. Those other components in the D3 are very, very important. I'm going to be putting up necessary. What I'm saying is necessary. We want to cover all grounds. We don't want just vitamin D3 to be working for some people and not everybody. We're trying to make sure that we can get everybody the vitamin D3 that they need. Now, I'm going to explain just a little bit about why we need D3 instead of just vitamin D. Our milk, it says vitamin D2, and why those are not going to do for us what these are going to be doing for us, and that is the vitamin D3 with the K2 and the magnesium. And this is magnesium glycinate, which also matters. Dr. Rhonda Patrick, she's a PhD in, I just want to make sure that I give her title correct, biochemistry, right? She's a biochemist and a health researcher. That's who I really look up, or I should say, that's who I look up when I really want to get the deep science and facts about anything that has to do with nutrients and health. A lot of people, you can find a lot of research online, but I like to cross it with Dr. Rhonda Patrick's info. So when she was taking the vitamin D3 and explaining why she takes it in D3 form, because if we just take it in vitamin D or vitamin D2, she was explaining that it needs to convert into vitamin D3 so that it can then turn into a steroid hormone, right? So that it can open and close up to 1,000 different genes. Now that's so serious. That's why I'm sounding the alarm. We're talking about our genetic code is being broken down by not knowing some basic simple things that we're supposed to know how we function. Like, we need to know that our car needs some basic functions, like some basic maintenance, like it needs water and oil. You don't need to be a race car driver or a mechanic. You just need to know some basics, and this is some basics that we don't know on purpose. Because I ain't saying that it happened on accident. This is happening on purpose, that we don't know our basic functions, so that those basic functions can be slipped away and taken away from us, and we don't recognize why we're breaking down. This product right here, it's a new brand I found while I was trying to find something that I could take that won't drop my immune system because of the casing, or meaning the shell or whatever it's being put into, right? That's not dropping my immune system, meaning it has a nightshade ingredient in there. Those who follow my channel know what I'm talking about. Or that it doesn't have extra added ingredients that we don't need, called fillers, that are also nightshades that drop your immune system. So this one is good to go. I'm using it. I've been using it. I still haven't even finished my first bottle. And this is not a type of vitamin where you feel right away a change, like an energetic change is what I'm trying to say. It's not like you drink coffee and you feel the boost. Like if I take my B vitamins in 20, 30 minutes, boom, I feel that boost and I'm ready to go, right? This is just something that you're going to see things get better as time goes on. And I'm gonna go down the list of the things that I wrote so that you can see if it has something to do with you, and then you can start researching in that direction. And I didn't even tell you the name of this product. It's called New Elements. I like what the brand is doing. They're keeping out fillers. They're keeping it simple and basic. This is the only product I've bought from them. There's a couple other ones I want to try. And I won't call them out until I've actually tried them. You know, I don't believe in talking about things I haven't done. I got to do it first. But I'm just sending you the direction of where I got this. What do we got? Rachel. I was taking a D3 with a K2 and was getting heart palpitations. I need to take it with magnesium. Absolutely. So those are called cofactors, right? When we have a nail, a piece of wood, and a hammer, right? When we have one of those parts, they need the cofactors. They need the other elements. That's what cofactor. I'm just saying this so that when people hear cofactor, that's what it means. We need the other components so that we can ram that nail with that hammer into the wood. They work together. Separately, they're just individual items. So yeah, magnesium, very important. And that's why when you hear Dr. Rhonda Patrick in her, because she's a big promoter about D3 and why it's so important we start getting it into our diet, because she says it because she can only say it a certain way, right? Because of her title. I'm ghetto about it. I'm sounding the alarm about it. I'm not cussing like I used to. I'm bringing that down. I'm on a cussing fast for 21 days. I've been doing pretty good. I'm not great, but I've been doing pretty good. So you won't hear it when I'm sounding the alarm. But we're breaking out. We need to build back up, and we need to know how to do it. So when we go get our testing, I haven't gotten tested for my levels of vitamin D because they do it with a blood test, right? And that can get a little complicated and confusing listening, well, for me anyways, I'm listening to all the science and what all these people are saying. So I'm like, well, okay, so how do I take this blood test? What am I looking for? And what am I missing, right? Because I don't want to miss nothing, because the medical field is set up by Canaanites. I'm not saying doctors are. I'm saying the medical field is paid for and promoted by Canaanites. That's a mentality that's satanic, worship Lucifer, and practice witchcraft, and is against mankind. That's me sounding the alarm. I can do that because this is my channel, and this is how I do it, right? So when I go get a blood test, am I getting what I need to know, or am I getting what the Canaanite system wants me to know? So I haven't been able to get a clear, like, words out of somebody's mouth to say this means this and this means that. But in general, what I've come to recognize is when you take a blood test to find out your vitamin D levels, right? There's active and inactive test. And when we get our testing, we get the inactive. That's what I'm hearing. I haven't gotten to do it yet, but this is what I'm hearing. And that inactive blood test is called a 25 hydroxy vitamin D, right? And that if it's below 30, you're in the danger zone. You need to supplement with vitamin D, right? But to be optimal, I'm hearing other doctors say, we need to be at least at 50, Dr. Rhonda Patrick says we want to be no lower than 30. I'm going for optimal, right? I'm going for optimal. So what I recognized in another person's video, which I'm going to put right here, Dr. Berg was saying, when you go get your blood test for your vitamin D, get both. Get your inactive, which is standard, and they give you, and get your active, which is called, 125 dihydroxy vitamin D levels, right? So you got your active and your inactive. And I haven't been able to hear do I want them both minimal, no more less than 30, or just the inactive, no less than 30. That's what I haven't been able to catch. What am I looking for in both levels? nobody has said it. Not Dr. Berg, not Dr. Rhonda Patrick. I can't hear anybody state a claim of this is what you're looking for in the active, this is what you're looking for in the inactive, or at least the range, right? Because I know it's not specific to one, but it needs to give me a range for what I'm supposed to be looking for. So I'm gonna go, when I go get my blood test, I'm gonna do I want the active and the inactive. I'll have my numbers, and then I start doing some research on the numbers that I got, right? But it's looking like I don't want nothing lower than 30, and I'm looking for optimal. I don't want to just be barely functioning, because that's what they got us, right? They got us in the daily recommended dose is just to survive. I'm looking for optimal, and I do optimal, and that's why I look optimal, and that's why I feel optimal, and that's why I can do optimal. When I say that, meaning you can find doctors now recognizing that we got a glitch in the system. We got something compromising the integrity of what it is to be a doctor. So doctors are now talking about, okay, we got the recommended dose, but then we got the optimal dose. So when you look for what level of any type of vitamin or mineral you should be taking, look for what doctors are talking about optimal range for your daily dose, your optimal daily dose. They're actually talking about it. It's a thing. But if we don't know to look in that direction, we don't know to go look, right? Now I'm gonna, so that's how to look up your active and inactive when you get your blood test, right? Now I'm gonna talk about how severe this is, how we are suffering. Mankind is suffering apart from all the other reasons why we're suffering, right? From poverty, from hardship, economic hardships. I mean, the pressure is on, and it's never been off of mankind. Mankind's always had a pressure, a hold on them. If it's not from here, it's from over there. If it's not from above, it's from below. If it's not on the side, it's on the other side. But it's consistent. And now we're being so broken down from the inside out that we can't even hold up. We can't even push back. And I want to make sure that we can push back. And we're ready to go at all times. All right. Sounding the alarm. This is a hormone. This is not just a vitamin. Vitamin D. Brain health. We got problems because in our mood, because it regulates our emotions, our mood. It creates mood swings. It creates low self-esteem, depression. These are from doctor's mouth. So when you research vitamin D level with a problem that I'm stating here, you're going to find the research on it, but we don't know to go look in that direction. And all I'm doing is pointing the finger in the right direction. Synthesis of serotonin in the brain. If the body don't have serotonin working right in the brain, it's going to search for it so it doesn't die. And the reason I say that is because mankind is made up to feel happiness and joy. It's a natural feeling. And so it'll seek to find it, to regulate its operations so that it doesn't down spiral. And so it looks for what we have is called abusers of anything, abusers of drugs, abusers of alcohol, abusers of sex. And what I'm talking about is a personal, necessary thing for a person that we call an addict. The reason I'm saying that is because I'm not talking about sex offenders. I'm not talking about drug dealers. I'm talking about the guy or the girl or your family member living in your house that's addicted and they want to change, but they can't because their body is trying not to die. So it's going to go get the serotonin so it can regulate the dopamine so everything can work right, so it can be balanced. And so that is why we have an addiction problem, because we have a serotonin, dopamine irregulation going on and the body's trying to find balance. a foundation to a functional operation in this body, in this brain, to function in this reality, we need to focus on the foundation. Meaning we're not going to look at the walls or the roof or nothing else until we get the foundation of that house nice and strong. And the B vitamins, meaning B like boy, that I've done on my other videos. My last video, it's vitamin B are the keys to reverse dysfunctions. That's one of the primary fundamentals for the foundation with the D like David, right? So B and D, I don't want them to get mixed up, but we need both of them. We need the D for David and the B for boy type of vitamins because they work and they synchronize together for everything else to pop off, to send signals. So I'm not wrong about the B vitamins, and now we're moving into the D vitamins, and those are the strong foundations so that everything else can then start working. So when we're taking minerals, they actually start functioning. Everything starts functioning because the foundation is right. If we got a weak foundation, the walls start sagging, the windows don't close, shit ain't working. Oop, I gotta catch myself. Things ain't working right the way they're supposed to, but nobody can see why, because we can't see the foundation of the house or the structure. But those who know to look down where nobody can see, and there's a problem in the foundation, and so nothing above over here in this house is gonna hold. And we ain't holding because we ain't got a good strong foundation. So we need to look into our B's, and to right now is what I've been doing with my D's. I don't want to have to tell you the story right now because I want to, of why I started digging into D's. I had something very serious happen to me, and I fixed it with vitamin D. So I had a problem, and then boom, I had to go find the solution, and this what led me to where I'm at right now with these vitamin D's. But I didn't know how serious this was for everybody, for our species, for mankind. I didn't know. But God made sure that I found out. He said, I'm going to give you a little problem. You ain't going to like it. But I know you're going to go find a solution. That sounds like it's been the story of my life. So that's for the brain health, getting things connected, the serotonin levels synthesized is vitamin D. So what I'm saying is if you have somebody you love or you are somebody who has a problem with addiction, you better start looking at your D3 vitamin, like the one I just showed you, with the proper balance of the magnesium, glycinate, and the vitamin K, along with the B vitamins you can see I talk about on my live videos. And then watch, you be your own testimony on how you just stop feeling the desire and the need for your addiction because your body got what it needed to stay alive. And then we can be held responsible for our will to want to achieve, because we're told that, well, we don't got the will or the mind power to be able to quit. No, my body can't quit because it's going to die if it don't get the serotonin necessary to regulate other operations that's vital to my existence. Nobody's talking like that. Not even in the AA or AAA or whatever A's they got out there. And the reason I'm upset about it is we condemn people. We tell them they're not good enough when we don't know that we got something working against us. I don't even got to cuss to make my point get across. Bone density. We got a problem. It's not just the fluoride that's in our tap water and is breaking down the strength in our bones. It's also the lack of vitamin D, because it regulates where that calcium is going. You need vitamin D to tell the body where to go put that calcium. So the body's like, look, you're eating calcium, but I ain't got vitamin D to take it where it needs to go. So it's just going to build up, right? We got this eating calcium. You know, people who take, you look this up. People who are taking calcium pills. I don't take calcium pills. I get my calcium from my diet, from my food, right? I didn't know I was missing my D. Because what ends up happening is the body says, well, since I don't have vitamin D to get the calcium put into where it needs to go, but I need this calcium, right? I'm going to take it from the bones. So because I'm going to take it from the bones, because I need to function, because we're lacking the D to take it where it got to go, I'm going to just pull it from the bones, and then it makes soft, weak bones. And that makes for a weak mankind. It makes for a weak, physically weak species. Muscle strength, it weakens the body. For better muscle strength and development, we need vitamin D3. It needs to be the 3 so that it can get then, because it gets converted. And a lot of us aren't converting. So we think we're getting the D by itself and it's working. And no, it needs to be 3 so that it can go over into, and you can hear the science all you want. I'm just giving a short breakdown of what I'm hearing and understanding, right? And I'm trying to put it into words that we can better assimilate so we know why I need to get that into here. So, I forgot which one. I know I was talking about muscle strength. I'm gonna have, I hate it when I do that. I did it again. I go on tandems. So going from muscle strength and needing it, we're going into low back pain, neck pain, bone pain. So these are consistent pains. We're taking B vitamins, right? Because they're for our neurotransmitters. But I didn't know that we also needed D vitamin for people who are not getting the full effects that they're looking for when they are taking the B like boy vitamins. I have to say it like that so that we know which ones I'm talking about. Because I noticed that people take the B vitamins and they're not getting the full effect. Like they're not completely better. So what's missing? The D component, the D part. Weakness and low energy. We feel weaker and we have lower energy if we don't have the vitamin D3. We're supposed to be getting this vitamin from sunshine. We are creatures of sunshine. It makes us happy. It makes us feel better. We're not creatures of darkness. We're not born in the dark and stay in the dark. We are creatures literally of sunshine. And that sunshine we're not in, because we go to work before the sun even comes out. We're loaded with this artificial light that actually causes damage to our signaling, because I don't even want to go to that. I'll go into a tandem, won't even go into that. We go to work all day, we're not in the sun, and when we leave, it's already 7 p.m. when we got these 12-hour shifts, and we're back into the dark, and we ain't getting no sunshine on our body. And even if we are outside, we got sunscreen because we're told to be afraid of the sun, because it's gonna kill us, it's gonna make us sick, and we're gonna die from the sunlight, when it actually makes us grow. It makes us function. It is how we get our vitamin D naturally, and it converts into everything that it's supposed to, and it keeps us healthy and strong and functioning. We lose vitamin D as we get older. I'm an old lady. Everybody seems to call me old lady, so I'm just going to work with that. I'm an old lady. I'm going to be 52 this October. 2025. I didn't even tell you guys what day it is today. It's Feb. 19th, 2025. I was supposed to do that at the beginning of the video. Because we get older in age, we start making less and less D3 from sunshine. So whatever sun we are getting, we have a harder time converting it because of aging, and we stop a lot of processes, right? So we have this problem in kids. We have this problem, and when I say this problem is vitamin D deficiency in kids, and we have vitamin D deficiencies in old ladies like myself. And we got a lot of older people who also need vitamin D, meaning this is mankind's hormone that we're missing. We need to go get it checked, see what levels we're at, and then making sure that we're up to par so we don't break down. Let me keep talking about the breakdowns. Immune disorders. People have a bunch of different, like Hashimoto's. These are immune disorders. Check vitamin D3 before you move any further, right? Because you can take all the meds you want, but you're only stopping the process of the natural process, meaning we keep going over here when it's right here. The solution is that simple, but we like to make it complicated because we like to be stressed and we are conditioned to stay worried. I got a cousin who loves to be sick because she gets sympathy and pity because she never got love when she was a little girl. And she only got love when she got hurt. And so she just grew up always being sick, always being ill, never wanting to get better because then she would lose the love and affection she never got when she was a kid. But she don't recognize she's carrying that same problem as an adult. We don't talk no more because I'm about to break her because she wanted to break me too. Because we talked about these kind of problems and we clashed, right? So some people like to stay sick. You can't do nothing but give them the information, bless them, and move on. This is about you, yourself, and your children. If you have children, you're the closest people that you're responsible for. And you're responsible for yourself, to take care of yourself, to take care of this temple, to make it function, to make it work. And if you have children, you help your children. Everybody else, they don't listen, they got their shot. That was it. Menstrual irregulations, fertility problems, respiratory infections. We got people who are chronically ill, like my cousin. All right, this right here. I'm working with somebody at work who has a monitor in his body who can see he's a diabetic. So he has to check his blood sugar all the time. I said, all right, now that you got this monitor and we can check it out, I want to start seeing what we can do to see a pattern when he goes and gets his vitamin D levels checked, talks with his doctor, gets this one that I'm using right here, and then we're going to start seeing, because what the information that I got it from a nutritional doctor who was talking about, and I'll post it on here. This nutritional doctor, and if you have a doctor, you also need a nutritional doctor, because we got to start with what's functioning right here first, and then if it don't get fixed, then we're going to go to the next step, right? But we got to be able to help this operation work, synchronized, in harmony, and in balance. So as a nutritional doctor, she talks about the hypothalamus is the one that sends a signal to be able to move the sugar, the glucose, from the blood up into the cell. And also that hippocampus sends a signal to the fat that's floating in the blood to go up into its cell so that we feel full. People who have, they call it, I don't have this problem, but I want to make sure that I say this problem correctly. I know about leptin, and people who don't get the leptin sensation, meaning the hormone that's triggered to say, hey, I feel full. I don't feel I need to eat. I don't think about food all day thinking about food. That's because that signal is not hitting. The leptin I'm full signal is a hormone that tells the body I'm full. So it's called, did I not write it? The sensitivity to leptin, right? They don't feel it. I don't have it right here. I thought I wrote it down because I wanted to make sure I put that signal correctly. But they're not moving fat correctly. And so if they're not getting the signal to say, I'm full, then their body's not picking up that signal because they need vitamin D3 to send that signal to the hippocampus that's in the brain to tell the glucose and the fat that's running through the blood to go where they need to go. And so we have a dysfunction in operations. So it sends, oh, now I know why. It's because I wrote it on a separate piece of paper. I'm like, I know I wrote that down. So we have insulin resistance, and we have people who need to produce insulin, who need to make it. We have diabetes 1 and diabetes 2. I'm reading what I wrote because I don't have these problems. But what I'm listening to these doctors say, that if you don't have this vitamin D to send the signal, like I said, there's a hormone that sends a signal to the hippocampus that says, let's move this where it needs to go. Instead of this simple solution, simple, right? Worry-free, stress-free solution, inexpensive solution, we're going to put people through a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. We're going to cut off their legs, right? Because they're diabetics. We're going to tell them they have no other choice and they got no other option because doctors are not taught, because they're in the Canaanite system. We are all in a Canaanite system to say this medication prescribed for this problem is what we're going to do. And you're going to work the rest of your life to pay this because you want to stay alive the best you can, instead of a simple solution. And that's getting the body to operate on basic standard functions of operations. It's supposed to be in the ground so that when it grows, the nutrients are supposed to be in the ground, in the soil. So when it grows, we eat it and we function. We get sunlight and we function. We're with family and we're happiness and joy. And we're actually doing the things that we love in life instead of being a slave in the system. Slave. We hate every day that we got to do the same shit that we don't want to do, but we don't want to live outside. So we just do it because it's better than living outside. And I say that from experience. Wound healing. People who have a wound that don't ever heal. Vitamin D, look in that direction. Vitamin D3, look in that direction. Age spots. That one surprised me. I didn't see that one coming at all. Age spots, vitamin D3. I say vitamin D3. I don't want to keep saying vitamin D because people are going to go get just any general basic vitamin D and be like, it doesn't work. No, we got to get specific. Look up Dr. Rhonda Patrick. Like I said, she'll give you more specifics with clinical information. She'll give you studies. This is the one that I noticed, that I could see, that I was like, oh, this is a quick change. And I haven't even finished my first month's bottle, right? I haven't even finished. Hair growth. So vitamin D3 deficiency, turning it over to a hormone, right? The vitamin D3 turning over to a hormone makes you lose hair. Oh, shit. Like, oh, I did it again. No cussing, Michelle. I had 2 patches that I could see that I could never grow hair in these little patches, right? Boom, got filled in like 5 o'clock shadow, just like my eyelashes. They feel like mink. If you've ever felt mink, it's a fur that's short but thick. I could feel the shortness. It's not long and lengthy, but it's thick and full. So all those holes that weren't filled are full. So the same way a man can grow a beard, in just some hours, what is it called, 5 o'clock shadow, right? Their hair starts growing immediately. This is what ended up happening. My hair started growing in a short little time, and it filled in the gaps. So for bald men out there, I would love to hear if anything's growing, right? I'd love to hear it. I got to find me a bald man and start working with him and putting him on, talking to him about what I'm talking about, because that's what I do. I pick people. I see people at work and say, hey. Let me check something with you real quick, because everybody got different problems. And this is how I get my testimonies, how people feel, what they're going through. I've been doing this for years. Not just with D3, just for some of you who don't know me, on all my different vitamins, all the different solutions that I'm looking for, because I know we all work different. And so one thing I know needs to work for everybody, and I need to find that one thing that covers ground for everyone. When I say one thing, I mean one direction. We need to get into this direction, because there's so many directions of the one thing that we get lost in the mix, and then we quit and we never get better. So there's a lot of D vitamin information. but I'm trying to get us to this one direction of D3 with K2 and magnesium glycinate. That's what I mean. We need a one for all. And if there's an adjustment that needs to be made because I find out some new information, I'll make a video about it. Because it's not about being right, it's about making sure we get it right. Because we're here to help ourselves. Because we can't wait for the Canaanite system to say, we're going to help you. They got us like a carrot on the string all the time, and people are always waiting and be like, why is my government not doing what they're supposed to? Because they're Canaanites. They're all Canaanites, and we don't want to accept that. The Republicans and the Democrats, they're all Canaanites. Let me take a pause real quick. 100%. Thank you, Rachel. 100. Thank you for agreeing. People who have high blood pressure issues, check into vitamin D3, for real. Stress fractures in young athletes. So athletes that are young shouldn't be having no bone problems, but they got bone problems. Why? Because they got soft bones, brittle bones, because the body's pulling the calcium that it needs from the bone to make up for the D vitamin that's supposed to be doing the job. Muscle pain, hair loss. All right, I think I got them all covered. And these were just the short, brief ones that I was trying to make sure that we all... Oh, here's one. Sleep issues with gut health. I'm going to post that video. This lady does such a good job. I didn't write her name. I just found her. And I know she got to be a doctor because these are all people with some strong evidence. But she talks about the gut health and your sleep patterns and what it has to do with the vitamin D, right? And she talks about how in the early 1900s, all these people were put into this factory with no windows, no sunlight. It was the basics, right? But all these people started getting real sick, like real sick. Like things started not working right, dysfunctional. And that's where they started recognizing, oh my gosh, these people ain't got no sunlight. After so many hours, after so many days, after so much time, they start breaking down. That's how we find these things out from past experiences, but it's not brought to evidence for what we have going on today. So it's important that these doctors pull this information and this resource out so the rest of us can see it. Because we don't want to hear it if a doctor ain't telling us. So I'm going to pull these doctors, I'm going to pull these PhDs, these nutritional doctors out so that you guys can start seeing what I'm seeing, and then you start navigating in your own direction to be able to help yourself, because that's all we can do, right? Until we get this right. Because we can't wait for a Canaanite to come and tell us what's going on and how to get it done. It's never going to happen. We keep waiting. We have this syndrome of, Mommy, Daddy, I'm waiting to go to Disneyland. You keep making that promise, and it never comes. That's some sad shit, but that's really sad. Correction. That's really sad and painful. But we're carrying that childhood wound as a society to this day, and we're waiting for our authority figures to tell us why things are wrong when we already know why they're wrong. We just can't accept Mommy and Daddy. They ain't right. They ain't right. I hope that helped you guys, with some information to help you in your life to get a stronger foundation. Something I didn't want to miss, I just saw it right here. Low testosterone. For men who are having issues with testosterone levels and they've done everything in the book, see if in your book you also got your vitamin D3, magnesium glycinate, and K2 in your book. Because if you don't, that'll be the one. That'll be the one to get your testosterone up. Because we need our men to be men. We need our men to be stronger than our women. Period. Because that's how it was designed to be. We need to get that back. People who are obese, obesity, and vitamin D3 deficiency. Why am I saying obesity? And let me put this right here just so you guys can see it. Obesity is obviously, I don't gotta explain what obesity is, but they go through diets, they go through exercise, they do everything that they're told to do, and they still got a problem. Is because the body doesn't have the D levels sufficient enough to move the fat where it needs to go, and there's a disorder, a dysfunction. Before we can move on into doing anything like a weight loss problem when we have obesity, or a fertility problem when we can't produce a baby, let's get the foundation right. These are just two basics I use, right? Obesity and fertility. I'm talking about everything I just said, how our mind works, our brain function, our mood function, our blood pressure. Let's get the foundations right. Let's get our correct vitamin D's and our correct B vitamins. I'm going to put the B vitamin one that I did, and you know what? I don't even need to do that. I'm just going to put the B vitamins that I recommend, that I use, and I use with my kids, and the person who specializes in vitamin B's. He's wonderful at it, Elliot Overton, and so you can get a resource and start helping yourself with a good, solid foundation, okay? Now that vitamin D information is done and I sounded the alarm, we got to get on that. I want to talk about this that I did in another video, and I'm making an adjustment. This right here, third-party tested, organic certified Chlorella, is how we get our mineral bases and chelation, meaning we're going to move out toxic metals because it binds to it and it takes it out of the waste system. So I started taking this so that I could, and it also repairs the gut. So, and it's just not minerals, it's also vitamins. There's a lot of things going on, and it also has amino acids, which makes proteins. There's a lot of good and great benefits to Chlorella. Look it up. I take it with a cup of pineapple juice to 1 scoop, and then I put a 1/16 of a teaspoon of stevia with a lot of ice, and I drink one of these every other day, right? I was showing and talking to you guys in another video how I was putting it with the vitamin C, right? Ascorbic acid, and how I was making drops, because I don't always have time to drink this, but I need minerals every day. I need minerals every day. I don't have the time to drink one of these every day. So I was mixing the vitamin C with the Chlorella, which is done and it's out there and it's on the market. But I had an experience that made me go back and take a second look. So when I have experiences, I don't always tell people what I recognize, because I got a lot of people who don't like me and would love to have firearms to use against me, and I ain't going to give them to it. I'm not going to give that up. Because I recognize things that are changed to my operation, and I'm sensitive to noticing, meaning I notice things. I don't let things slip by me for myself. I recognize, and I go and I make an adjustment. I'm going to put a video on here for you guys to see why it's important to use less ascorbic acid for daily purposes. For short-term, overcome a sickness, short-term incidences, it's fantastic. But we got a lot of people promoting ascorbic acid, vitamin C, large doses daily for long-term. I was doing it for long-term with other things, not with this, right? Not for this setup. But I was doing it for 2 months, and I recognized something changed in my operations. So it made me look up, and I found this video with this gentleman talking about the differences in the vitamin C's and all the different vitamin C's, right? And it showed the image on his thumbnail of a cell with like sprung out wiring, like chaotic, and the other one nice and normal, right? Nice and normal and functional cell. And I was like, that's exactly how I felt. That's the problem I'm looking for. Let me check him out. And the way he explained it is what I want you to be able to take your own time to listen to. Why this is good, because Tony Pontaresco, For those of you who follow Tony, I learned from Tony. He's an herbalist, right? That man saved my life. Full respect to Tony Pantalleresco. Hats off to him. I mean that sincerely, with all due respect. This, when he teaches about ascorbic acid, he didn't define the long-term, short-term. I'm defining the long-term, short-term as very important because of the dysfunction I noticed. So, super sick, you got an illness, mega dose, high dosages, overcome, override, knock that thing out, feel better, and then go back to soft and normal. When I say soft and normal, I mean very minimal amounts on a daily dose. So what I was doing is this on a high dose, 1 scoop to 2 scoops, right? In 3/4 water. That's what I was doing. The problem with that is this is too high. This needs to be like a 1/16 of a teaspoon to one of these in 3/4 water, so that it keeps the vitamin C, keeps this fresh, right? Because I need it drops daily under my tongue, so I'm always getting those minerals because we're always sweating them out, and when we sweat them out, we got to put them back in. Minerals come out through our sweat, through our urine. When we work, they're always leaving. We always got to be putting them in. A lot of people don't eat greens. They don't eat green vegetables to get minerals, right? A lot of people avoid salt, sea salt, where they're going to get their minerals. So they're deficient in minerals, and without minerals, we don't function. Minerals to the body is like nails to a foundation. If you take those nails out, the foundation is going to get weak. It's going to be wobbly. Putting those nails and reinforcing them all day is necessary, because all day we're losing them, especially in the summertime, especially for hard labor workers. I'm one of those people. I used to be a physically hands-on, sweating all day, forklift operator, just like heavy. I needed to mineralize back up regularly, right? So when I remake this, I'll post it on my Patreon, right? But I'm just gonna put a video so you can see the evidence that this gentleman puts on his page, so that you can see the studies of long-term high dose use and short-term minimal use, right? So you can see for yourself and make your own choice and decisions. But if I claim something and I notice I got to make an adjustment, I got to come and show face and explain it to you guys and why. Because I'm not going to change it up for me and leave it the same for you. If I change it up for me, I come and I bring it to you. I'm going to bring my phone close so I don't put my face all the way down there. What do we got, Rachel? Oh, that was it, 100%. Good. All right, I got everybody covered. So you guys, let me see, what time is it? I'm pretty good on time. All right, we got an hour in there. I want to tell you guys, thank you very much. Sound the alarm. Let everybody know that got some kind of illness, some kind of dysfunction, mood disorder, doesn't matter what it is. Something ain't working right, go check your vitamin D levels, okay? You guys, good night, God bless, and till next Wednesday. Be well. Bye-bye.